Okay, so for history, for me personally, I quite like these quick-fire sort of test things we use. So at the beginning of every lesson, we were given these to sort of like as a memory job, because history is quite a content-heavy subject. So with these quick test things, like 3 things, these are all exam questions, so help plan them out as well. So after we've done all these revision tasks and stuff in the lesson, we could focus on like heavy exam technique, because each 4 topics are quite stressful for exam technique, so that was all good information to take in.
And I found for things like English and history, planning the questions was really useful. So in history we got given loads of potential questions, and I just went through and made sure that I knew exactly how I would structure that question, as well as putting in like specific content. And the same for English, so making sure I knew quotes and things, but also how I would write what I wanted to write.
To add to that, for history I found mnemonics and acronyms the best way to remember statistics and key facts. For geography, you should be issued with these mind maps. They're also in the DSC, and I chose to highlight all of the key information. There's one proof. And from this I condensed them down into flashcards with the key statistics and case studies on, and from this I think it's much more useful than looking at the whole thing, to looking at the key points.
And how long did you do in your geography mock?
I got a 4 in my geography.
And what about the real thing?
I got a 9.
Okay, so to start off with, so for sciences and for maths, there's lots of support available, especially materials which you can use. For me personally, I thought past papers was the best way to progress from mocks up to exams. So again, back on that exam technique of how papers work and what they want from you in the exams. So say for maths, there's websites such as Northgate Maths, which I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of by now. And so it has all the past papers on there, so you can do each different set. And it's just a really good way of prepping you for the styles of questions you might have. For sciences, I know especially the chemistry department, they have screencasts and past paper questions by topic in there. So you can go through, pick, say, I'm not very confident on acids, for example. You can go through, you can do questions on that. And then also, there are mark schemes, so you can see where you're going wrong. And it's very important to mark afterwards to pick up those key areas you're focusing on.
Yeah, in the Northgate Maths website, there's also the screencasts for each question that I think Mr. Dawson does. And he's really good at doing them, because he does it at quite a slow pace, which allows you to stop it and pause it and go, actually I know how to do it from here. And that's really important, that if you know how to do something, if he's showing you how to do something, you think, actually, let me try this one. It's really important that you get your brain working, so you finish it off, then you check if you got it right again. So you're not just watching the screencast, you're actually trying to engage with the screencast, which is something I used quite a lot, because if I didn't understand the question, there was no point in me just watching it and going, that's how you do it. I had to get to a certain point. It's very important to try and understand it to get to a certain point, and then carry on with that, with what you're doing.
Yeah, I found it very important as well to use a specification, because that comes from the exam board and that highlights everything that they want you to know. And then even if it's not in the questions that you do as practice, you'll know that you need to know that.
Going back on to specifications, for sciences you get a little PAG book or required practicals. So required practical booklets, they just summarise everything you have to know. And in especially science exams, you're going to get like 6 markers, so the highest mark questions are going to be on required practicals. So if you can summarise those from what you're given in the PAG booklet, it's not a PAG booklet, required practical booklet, it will really help you.
Yeah, it is very important to know a lot about the required practicals, because there are quite a lot of each of your science exams. And if you don't know, if you've done the required practical and left it and gone, I don't need that anymore, if you've done it, then you're doing it wrong, because you have to actually understand each one. And I think what helped me was the YouTube free science lessons at the YouTube channel. And he does, I didn't use much of these other content, but he does little 3-4 minute clips on each required practical for each of the sciences. And I use them quite a lot. So I just watch, it doesn't take much out of your day to sit there and watch something for 4 minutes. Maybe when you get home or before a day, because it just gets your brain working. You go, no, this gives this again, or that happens. And it's really important to, when you get into the exam, to know, this required practical, boom, done, sorted. That's an easy I don't know, 10% of your exam done, because it is just memory, that side, and it is quite important to remember that. So I actually made quite a lot of flashcards, especially for the sciences actually, and quite a lot for geography. But at the start I was trying to make them really nice and neat, because my handwriting's bad already, so it was quite hard for me to read. But I learned over time that actually you need to get them done, because I was doing flashcards up to the exams, and I was thinking, well, why am I making them now? There's no point starting making them maybe like a couple of weeks before exams, because you won't be able to test yourself. So I just started rushing them out and just getting home. Maybe this was a bit after February, just getting home, rushing out flashcards and making them. And then once I'd made them, I'd sit down and I'd go through the pack, put them in, oh, I didn't get that at all, or I got that, and I'd put the ones I didn't get on top of the ones that I did get. I'd then do something else for half an hour, maybe relax, I don't know, watch TV or something, or maybe leave it another day, and I'd come back to them, and I'd start with the ones I didn't get at the top, and if I still don't get them, put them back in the top, and keep going until they're completely modelled up, and they're just, you get all of them, basically. And you do that for every single one, until you're thinking, well, there's not much I can do else here, apart from maybe make more flashcards and other content that I haven't had, and try and do them again.
I think you might be told that like making flashcards is a waste of time, and it might be to like in the long run. But I think that don't be afraid to make your own flashcards, because for me, making them means that it makes a lot more sense. Because if I'm using someone else's, like on Quizlet or something, it's a lot easier. But I find that nothing goes in because I'm confused because their questions don't make sense to me. And so making your own, I feel like it makes like all the content come a lot clearer in your brain, and that's a lot more useful for me.
Yeah, I'd say to make sure that you make flashcards on stuff that you don't know rather than stuff that you do, because as you go through your criteria sheets, your notes, you'll know what you don't know, and that should be going on your flashcards, not things that you already know.